Hey guys, it's Jim Halterman from TV Guide Magazine and TV Insider. We're here to talk the 200th episode of The Goldbergs.
Are we in the right place?
And to think I was worried your mom would do something crazy. I mean, the Harlem Globetrotters were at your brother's bar mitzvah. Curly Neal dribbled the entire service.
Well, I guess she finally heard us. People really can grow and change.
Tech rehearsal starts now. We are 2 days out. I want to see sweaty bodies and high knees.
What's happening? Why do we need a tech rehearsal?
I just added a few flourishes to the ceremony. Wardrobe!
Hayley, I can't believe we're at 200 episodes because we talked for the 100th and here we are at 200. How does it feel where you're sitting?
It's crazy. I mean, I say this a lot, but whenever you first audition for a show like this and it's just a pilot, you have no idea if it's going to get picked up, if the first season's going to go. So to look back and be like, we've done 200 of these is just insane. Troy and I were trying to do the math, which neither of us are very good at, but I think if we did it correctly, it's like, did we spend 4 years straight on set of being there with each other? It seems like it's been that long, and it's just wild, but we're so grateful that everyone loves it and we're still doing it.
And the 200th episode is a big one because it's finally time for Erica and Geoff to get married, which is exciting. So just to preview this a little bit, I'm guessing what Erica and Geoff want might be a little different from what Beverly wants. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yes. I think every couple has an idea for the most part of what they want out of their wedding. And in a typical Beverly fashion, she has her own plans. Being overbearing, she's going to try to insert those ideas as much as she can. So it sort of becomes a tug of war between the couple and Beverly and trying to figure out what's this wedding really going to look like.
Now, whenever I think about how big would Beverly go, how big does she want to go? Do we see some examples of that in the episode?
Yes. And I think one of my favorite things that we filmed in this episode is the opening scene, which I don't want to give too much away, but it's just over the top. I mean, you don't even know the kinds of things that she throws in here. It's not typical wedding stuff, but she wants the best of the best for her baby, So
the storyline in the episode, what do Erica and Geoff have to try and do to kind of rein her in? Can they rein her in?
Oh, it's definitely a tough one because she's set in her ways. But I think the main focus was trying to convince Beverly that the wedding just couldn't happen for some reason. And at first, it comes down to Geoff feeling like he needs to fake being sick or whatever it is. Just really any lengths we can go to convince her that like something's really wrong and that the wedding cannot take place today. So that way we have time to sort of reconvene and figure out how do we make this wedding the way we really want it to be done.
Okay. And I know from having siblings of my own that when a sibling gets married, it's a big deal. What goes on between Erica and her brothers in the episode?
Yeah. I loved doing these scenes with Troy and Sean because we rarely get to do them anymore. But we, as a bride on her wedding day, everything's going horribly wrong in her mind. She's stressed out, so she needs to take a spa day. And her two brothers decide to join her and try to ease her stress a little bit. And all the while end up bonding over this sort of sibling spa day that takes place.
Tell me about Erica's dress. I know we see an early dress that is probably Beverly's choice and not Hayley's, but when we actually get to see her in her dress, what was filming that like for you?
Well, we had done an episode that I loved doing previously that was picking out the dress, right? And we'd gone through all these different, ideas of 80s dresses, classic 80s dresses. And we landed on this one that I think is actually really beautiful. It's kind of a mix of like a modern wedding dress and an 80s wedding dress. And thankfully that is the one that we get to settle on in the actual ceremony. And it was really wild to be in it. I actually have never tried on wedding dresses in my own personal life. So for this to be my first one was special in a way because I've grown up with these characters and I'm rooting for them just as much as the audience is. So it was really special.
So this wouldn't be the 200th episode without some kind of 80s icon or pop culture reference in there. Do we get something like that in this episode?
Yes. So we were able to get Richard Marx to come on and play a song during the ceremony, which was it really was so wild because it's a very intimate setting once the ceremony actually takes place. So to be able to be like in such a close space with just the friends and family of the Goldbergs, and then Richard Marx is just playing the song as I walk down the aisle. it was just one of those pinch me moments where you're like, how, again, working on a show for this long, we've been so lucky to get so many amazing people, but it's like, is this really happening? We had such a blast and so honored that he said yes to doing it.
Make sure to click subscribe underneath this video and watch The Goldbergs Wednesdays on ABC.